Let's talk about it. If this is your first time tuning in here on this channel, we talk about film, fashion, and photography, all three things that I love. My name is David Wilson II, and in today's video, we're gonna be doing another cinematography breakdown of a similar scene. I pretty much recreated the scene that I did in my first video, but I also added a close-up. But today, that's really what I wanna talk about is continuity editing, how to keep lighting the same, and what to look for when trying to cut together two shots. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. Look, I'm gonna briefly break down this shot again, but I'm gonna do it fairly quickly. Again, now in my last video, I talked about, highlights and shadows. I call it salt and pepper in my image, making sure that I have a good balance of both shadows and highlights. So I'm gonna briefly just kind of go over that again. So here we have, let's change the color. Change it to white really quick. Give me 1 second. Now, the first thing that I look for is making sure that I salt and pepper my image. Now, if you look, we're on the shadow side, and then we have the shadows and the highlights. Now, I'm going to highlight all of the shadows in this image because that is going to, again, inform us on how to light our next shot. Now, this is pretty much all of the highlights that I can see because we're going to be doing a close-up, and I know what shot we're going to be trying to capture next. I'm just going to use this as a reference and make sure that I also include maybe even this window to continue to use this as a motivating light for our audience. Now, if you don't know what a motivating light is, that's basically a light source that the audience can reference as the thing or the light source that is lighting our subject. So I'm going to, again, use this as a reference. We're going to back out of this, and the next scene that we're going to take a look at, or next shot I should say, is this one. So again, if we take that information that we took from the previous shot and then we come over here and we break this down, we're pretty much going to try to achieve the exact same thing, the salt and pepper technique that I just recently talked about. So again, let's just highlight really quickly the shadow parts of this image. And this is what we're trying to achieve. So we're trying to basically take our camera from where it was at a wide shot and bring it in just a little bit closer, not changing any of the settings unless we have to. In this case, I pretty much kept the settings the same because the lighting conditions were the same amount of light coming through the window or whatnot. I might have changed the ISO just to kind of dial it back, just to make it darker. Just kind of play with your settings just a little bit, but don't change your shutter speed, don't change your aperture unless you have to, but make sure to capture this particular shot very similar in the lighting conditions, basically in the same type of lighting conditions that you captured the wide shot. So again, going here, so I'm highlighting all the shadowy parts of this image. Next, we're going to talk about the motivating light. Again, we have the window on this side, and that window light is blasting this way towards our subject. And then here are the highlights. We've got the highlights on my forehead, on my nose, on my lips area. You even have highlights spilling over onto the other side, which is my cheek right here underneath my eye. And then you also have a catch light within my eye as well. So that's pretty much it. All I did was I was on a rotational chair or stool that can rotate, and all I did was just rotate my body or my subject in a direction that I liked, to where I got enough light on one side of the cheek, and obviously it's lighting the other side of my face. I did not want split lighting, and split lighting is basically where one side is light and the other side is completely in shadow. I did not want that kind of look. So I went ahead and just shifted my body just ever so slightly so that way we can get enough light on the other side. And you can kind of see it here. Like if I turn this way, and if you were to sit on this side of my shoulder, you would see that there wasn't much light hitting this side. But once I start to turn, you can kind of see more light kind of come on this side of fall right underneath my eyelid. So there you go. That's pretty much it. I don't want to overcomplicate this and make this more complicated than, more than what it is. But I just want to go ahead and do how I was able to cut together two scenes or two shots, and while keeping the continuity of the lighting at the same time. So anyways, that does it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this content. Again, here on this channel, we talk about film, fashion, and photography. Let me know what you thought. Comment below. I'll see you in the next one. As always, start your day with giving, because way too many people take. SWNUP.